Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Kurin and I am a first-time mama to a 5-month-old little boy. Never in my life did I think that I would be sitting down in front of a camera to do a dedicated video on penises, but here we are. So about 2 months ago, I did a video all about like my stances, my thoughts, my beliefs on controversial parenting topics such as like corporal punishment, co-sleeping, formula feeding, and one of them was circumcision. And a lot of you guys were extremely interested in knowing a little bit more about circumcision and what I found in my research and why we chose to keep Israel intact and not circumcise him. Finally, 2 months later, I am sitting down to film this video. Now, I do want to make a disclaimer. I am not here to judge anybody for their parenting decisions. If you want to circumcise your child, if you have done all the research and you found that it's going to be best for your family, then that's what's best for your family. I'm just here to share what I found in my research with you guys and let you know why we decided to keep our son intact. So let's go ahead and get into this video. So I'm just gonna start off by saying America is like one of the only countries that does circumcision regularly. It's like offered up on a silver platter. When I was in the hospital with Israel, I was asked probably 10 times if we were getting him circumcised. We went through a couple different pediatricians, and every single time we went to the pediatrician within his first couple weeks of life, they were asking us if we were going to circumcise our child, which in my opinion, I feel like the parent should be the one to be bringing up that procedure and say, hey, we want to circumcise our child. If you look over in Europe, it's like almost unheard of there. I've been to Europe 3 different times. I've been to a ton of different countries in Europe, and they have statues everywhere. Statues of naked men, and they're all intact. Every single one of them has their foreskin, and that's just how it is. Like, it's just not heard of there. Let's get into like, I think the 2 main reasons why people circumcise their children. One being it's clean and you're gonna save your child from getting UTIs. Well, if you're a woman watching this, ask yourself if you've ever had a UTI. I personally have had several UTIs in my life. I have somebody in my close circle who went through a period of time, several months, where she was having chronic back-to-back UTIs. She was constantly at the doctor's getting ultrasounds done on her kidneys and all these different parts of her body to figure out what was going on, why she was having these back-to-back UTIs. Never once was she asked if she wanted to get circumcised, because yes, women's circumcision is a thing too. So ask yourself, if you've ever gone to the doctor to get antibiotics for a UTI, have you ever been asked if you wanted to be circumcised, or has a doctor ever told you, yeah, we should probably go ahead and circumcise you since you're having a UTI right now? So why is it that we go ahead and circumcise our boys for getting UTIs, but we don't circumcise our girls for getting UTIs? All we do is go to the doctor, get some antibiotics, take some azo, cranberry juice, and we are on our way. Now, if you were to take an intact boy into the doctor or pediatrician due to a UTI or even a yeast infection, you're more than likely gonna have a doctor that's going to mention circumcision just to take care of the problem altogether. I don't think that we should be cutting off parts of our body just to avoid a simple UTI. Yes, they're painful. I have had one before. It's just kind of like a part of life, in my opinion. The next biggest reason that people get their boys circumcised is due to their beliefs. Now, I'm not going to sit here and talk about anyone else's beliefs besides mine, because I am a Christian. So a lot of Christians do get their boys circumcised because, you know, circumcision is in the Bible. And yes, you're correct, circumcision is in the Bible. It is in the Old Testament. And actually, circumcision of the Bible is completely different than American circumcision today. So circumcision of the Bible was actually the tiniest piece of skin cut off from the boy's body on the 8th day when their bodies are producing vitamin K on their own so that they are less likely to bleed out. They didn't take off the entire foreskin. Also, Jesus, when he came to earth, died for our sins, he was the ultimate blood sacrifice, meaning we no longer have to be sacrificing our own body and giving our own blood as a sacrifice to God. So yes, before Jesus came down to earth, that was a way to set God's people apart and for them to be sacrificing themselves or parts of their body to God for their sins. I'm going to read a few verses here. So 1 Corinthians 7:19 says, "For neither circumcision counts for anything nor uncircumcision, but keeping the commandments of God." So right there it's saying it doesn't matter if you're circumcised or uncircumcised. The thing that matters the most is if you are keeping the commandments of God and following God's word. Another one right here, Romans 3:1 says, "Then what advantage has the Jew? Or what is the value of circumcision? God cares about the circumcision of the heart," meaning we are following his word and following his commandments. Galatians 5:6 says, "For in Jesus Christ neither circumcision nor uncircumcision counts for anything, but only faith working through love." And then Romans 2:26, "So if a man who is uncircumcised keeps the precepts of the law, will not his uncircumcision be regarded as circumcision?" So right there was just a few verses regarding the whole circumcision topic, talking about God really doesn't care about the outward look of a man's penis. He only cares about our heart. And to me, it makes sense. Like, does Jesus really care about what my son's penis looks like, if it is circumcised or not? No, Jesus cares about my son's heart. So for me, it wasn't necessary to put my brand new baby on a plastic cold board with all 4 limbs tied up and have his penis cut up. There was no reason for that. We had a little bit of kickback when it came to our decision to keep our boy intact. We had a lot of people who were confused, asking us questions, bringing up things such as, you know, girls don't find intact boys very attractive. And in my mind, I'm thinking, Israel's wife is not going to care if Israel is intact or not. And if she does, then she's not the right person for him. We had a couple of other people saying, oh, he's gonna be made fun of and things like that. And I personally have quite a few people in my life who are intact, and I have straight up asked them, hey, have you ever been made fun of for your penis being intact? And they said, no. No one has ever come up to me and made fun of me for the way that my penis looks. So there's that. And also we had some people bringing up, well, what's gonna happen when Israel looks at his dad and thinks that he's different than his dad? Well, we'll have a conversation then, but are they really gonna be standing around comparing their penises and saying, oh, look at the difference between my penis and your penis? No, when that happens, we will address it and we will talk about it, but we're not gonna bring up the fact that, oh, Israel, you're different. You were kept intact. Like, no, if he brings it up to us and asks us questions, we will talk about it then, but I'm never gonna look at my son and tell him and explain to him that he is different. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the cleanliness part of keeping your boy intact. Again, with UTIs and yeast infections and things like that. Most of America's pediatricians are very undereducated about intact males. Just for instance, in Israel's My Chart, which is an app where we can find all of Israel's medical things, we can talk to our pediatrician through there. There is a section on the My Chart app that says health issues. So I was like, oh, let me just click it to see what's on there, because I was just going through the app. And under health issues, it says uncircumcised male right here. So right here, you can see under Israel's health issues, he is considered an uncircumcised male. And right there, that just shows you how undereducated our pediatricians and doctors are on intact males. Since when is it a health issue for my child to be kept whole? It's just very interesting. Now, we are lucky to have a pediatrician that is educated on intact males. I straight up asked him, like, you know never to retract my son's penis, right? And he said, oh yeah, no, we never retract. leave it alone. And he told me, you know, just wash it like it's a finger, don't mess with it, don't do any retraction, don't do anything. And I was like, oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you know how to take care of an intact male, because America likes to think that little boys need to be retracted, meaning taking the foreskin, pulling it back, and cleaning it. You are never supposed to do that. The only person that is supposed to retract their penis is the owner of the penis themselves. So little boys are born with membranes that keep their foreskin over the head of their penis. If you break those prematurely, that can, number one, cause pain, and number two, cause infection, because little boys don't know how to clean their penises yet. They're not old enough to know that they need to clean under their foreskin. So these membranes do dissolve usually around 11 years old when they are moving into puberty, so that they are old enough to know how to retract and clean their penis themselves. Retraction is a sexual function. It is not something that we need to be doing prematurely, so I will never retract my son's penis ever. It is his job to do that, and when he is old enough and the membranes are all dissolved, we will talk about him pulling it back himself and cleaning it. So there's two little sayings when it comes to intact care, and that is, when intact, don't retract, and only clean what is seen. So I don't have any cleaning issues with Israel. I don't have to worry about cleaning his penis. All I have to do is wipe him down and make sure the outward and outside of his penis is clean. A lot of people think, oh my gosh, if you have an intact male, you have to do so much extra cleaning, and I don't want to have to deal with that. And that's just not true. You are actually not supposed to be retracting your son's penis, like I've said 1,000 times, but America doesn't know this. Most of the time, if you take an intact male to a pediatrician, they will tell you, retract your son's penis, or they will try to look at the glands, which is the head of the penis, or they will straight up retract your son right in front of your eyes. And most people don't know that you're not supposed to do that. So it's a scary thing, and that's when little boys end up with infections. I am a part of a Facebook group that is called Raising Your Whole Baby. I've learned so much from this group, and I'm telling you guys, 5 to 10 times a day, there's a new post from a mom or a dad saying that they took their child to the pediatrician, they were forcibly retract, and what do I do? And it's very sad. So that's why I was very cautious and upfront with my pediatrician, saying, hey, do you know how to take care of an intact male? There's a lot of people have a diaper on policy. They don't even allow their pediatricians to take the diaper off at all. That's just what they're comfortable with, because they don't even want to risk the possibility of a pediatrician doing that. I just don't think that I have that power or have that say over my son's body. Now, when he turns 18, and if he comes to me and says, hey mom, I really wish that you did circumcise me, I'm gonna look at him and say, you know what, you're 18 years old now, you can go get it done yourself. And a lot of people are gonna say, well, hey, it's actually a lot more painful to get circumcision done when you're older. It's not, because if this man has already gone through puberty, their membranes are now dissolved, meaning that the doctors are going to know exactly how much foreskin to cut off. They're more than likely going to be put under, and they're going to have a lot more pain medication other than just Tylenol to heal. Israel will have that decision to make on his own. When he is 18, if he wants to get it done, he's able to go get it done, and there's that. And yes, it's going to cost a lot more, but if that's something he really wants to do, then he's going to be able to do it. I personally know 2 people in my inner circle, my close inner circle, which is very small, that have been with intact males sexually and had no idea that they were intact, had no idea that they weren't circumcised. So that just tells you that women don't pay that much attention, and it also doesn't look very different when you are being sexually active. So that's just another thing that I wanted to mention. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns that you wanna leave down below, go ahead and do that. Circumcision is not up to debate. I just urge you, if you're pregnant with a boy, to do research on this decision, because I never thought that I would keep my child intact. I never thought that I would be the mom with a boy that was not circumcised. But when I was pregnant with Israel, I was like, okay, this is actually a real decision that I'm gonna have to make, and I want to make sure that I'm fully informed on everything that could go wrong, all the pros and all the cons, and to me, all the pros just blow the cons out of the water. So just make sure that you are doing your research and you are fully informed on what circumcision entails. I hope this answered most of your guys' questions when it comes to circumcision in general. If you have any prayer requests, make sure to leave those down below, but if they're too personal, you can always DM either me or Aidan on our Instagrams. You guys are loved, and we will see you in the next one. Bye guys.